محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. We were discussing about infallibilities of the prophets, salamullahi alayhim, and what has been mentioned in the Holy Quran or in some books of tafsir, which might be misunderstood, that the prophets are not infallible. How to explain that? We discussed about infallibilities of Prophet Adam alayhi salam, Prophet Nuh, Prophet Ibrahim, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, and today inshallah we are going to discuss about infallibility of a Prophet Dawud alayhi salam, or David. Well, in the Holy Quran his story is mentioned in Surah Sad. If we start from ayah 21, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وهل أتاك نبأ الخصم إذ تسوروا المحراب إذ دخلوا على داود ففزع منهم قالوا لا تخف خصمان بغى بعضنا على بعض فاحكم بيننا بالحق ولا تشطط واهدنا إلى سواء الصراط ولا تشطط واهدنا إلى سواء الصراط إن هذا أخي له 99 نعجة ولي نعجة واحدة فقال اكفلنيها وعزني في الخطاب قال لقد ظلمك بسؤال نعجتك إلى نعاجه وإن كثيرا من الخلطاء ليبغي بعضهم على بعض إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وقليل ما هم وظن داود أنما فتناه فاستغفر ربه وخر راكعا وأناب. Here, as we see, the Holy Quran mentions about a type of test for Prophet David, peace be upon him. Ayah 21 said, and has there come to you the story of the litigants when they made an entry into the private chamber by ascending over the walls? Means there were two people, they were having misunderstanding, there is dispute on something, and they came from the main door to enter. Probably they were prevented because the Prophet Dawud alayhi salam was at his private room, probably offering prayers and supplications, and he did not want anybody to enter. And they did not come from the door, they came out from the wall. So suddenly they came inside, and he found two people entering his private room without expectation. So the ayah 22 said, when they entered in upon Dawud and he was frightened at them, because they came suddenly, so he was frightened, they said, fear not, two litigants of whom one has acted wrongfully towards the other, therefore decide between us with justice and do not act unjustly and guide us to the right way. So they had some argument between them, and he said, okay, don't be afraid of us. We are having a problem with each other, so we need your justice in judgment. So what was their argument? He said, ayah 23, surely this is my brother. He has 99 ewes and I have a single ewe. But he said, make it over to me, and he has prevailed against me in discourse. The ayah 24, he said, the Prophet Dawud alayhi salam said, surely he has been unjust to you in demanding your ewe to add to his own ewes, and most surely most of the partners act wrongfully towards one another, save those who believe and do good, and very few are they. And Dawud was sure that we had tried him, so he sought the protection of his Lord, and he fell down bowing and turned time after time to him, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then after that, in ayah 25, he said, therefore we rectified for him this, and most surely he had a nearness to us and an excellent resort. So in short, the ayahs here mentioned the story that when Prophet Dawud alayhi salam was in his privacy, two people came suddenly, unexpectedly, and they entered, and he was frightened at the beginning. They said, okay, we have just a problem. This is my brother, he has 99, let us say, goat, and I have one, but he was not satisfied with the 99 that he has, and he asked me by force that he should take mine as well, so that he will get 100 to complete the figure, and I will get nothing. Prophet Dawud alayhi salam replied him, no, that is injustice that he asked you for that. And then suddenly he realized that he had hurried in judgment, and probably, as in Tafsir said, suddenly those two disappeared. So he realized they were not an angel, they were not a human being, they were angels, and they are trying him about judgment. So he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. So here the argument, they said, the Prophet Dawud, if he is infallible, then he did a mistake, and for that mistake is written فَاسْتَغْفَرَ رَبَّهُ, he asked Allah for forgiveness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. So that is a sin, and this is forgiveness of Allah for that sin. That is what they raise according to this story. Actually the answer, it is not like that, you know. First of all, if we read the ayahs before this start ayah 21. If we start from ayah 17, we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises Prophet Dawud alayhi salam a lot. اصبر على ما يقولون واذكر عبدنا داود ذا الأيد إنه أواب. Bear patiently what they say, and remember our servant Dawud, the possessor of power. Surely he was frequent in returning to Allah. Awwab is the one who always returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is always pious and thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the ayah after that, it says, surely we made the mountains to sing the glory of Allah in unison with him at the evening and the sunrise, and the birds gathered together, all joined in singing with him. And the ayah 20, and we strengthened his kingdom, and we gave him wisdom and clear judgment. So Allah first started praising Prophet Dawud alayhi salam, saying that he returned to Allah. Allah gave him that ability, that power, that even the birds, the animals, the mountains, all are under his power. And at the end, Allah said, we strengthened his kingdom, and we gave him wisdom and clear judgment. So now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that I gave somebody wisdom and clear judgment, can he do mistake? And that mistake is regarded as sin. He will be sinful, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should forgive him his sin. Naturally, that can't be, will not come along with the ayah. Just we read the ayahs before that, and then the story will come after ayah 20, become 21 till 26. So that is one point we see from the Holy Quran that is not accepted. Secondly, those people who come are most probably, I say most probably, in Tafasir they say they were angels, but as we discussed the Holy Quran, they look to be angel, not human being. Why? Because first of all, they came from the wall, inside, which was not possible for human beings. The way they discuss with the Prophet is not the way of ordinary person who talk with the, let us say, king or the ruler. They told him, don't be afraid, la takhaf. Usually the servant will not tell them, his master, don't be afraid of me. They are standing, they are fearing because they came without permission, without knocking the door. So that by itself shows that they are not from human beings. And what they say is like, actually in the Holy Quran, about the two angels who came to Prophet Ibrahim عليه السلام ونبئهم عن ضيف إبراهيم إذ دخلوا عليه فقالوا سلاما قال إنا منكم وجلون قالوا لا توجل إنا نبشرك بغلام عليم in Surah Al-Hijr ayah 151 to 153. So there the same story, that two angels came to Prophet Ibrahim. They told him, peace be upon you, salaman. He said, well, I am frightened from you because suddenly they came without knocking the door, without permission, without being aware of their coming. They told him, don't be afraid, la tujal. We give you good tidings that you are going to get a child, So here, the same talking, you say, don't be afraid. We are two people who have argument with each other on a case, So it shows that these two were not angels, And what he has said, the question, why he rushed about it, what was, let us say, the point in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to tell Prophet Dawud, because he is Khalifa at the end, ayah 26, Ya Dawud, inna ja'alnaka khalifatan fil ard. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to prepare him as caliph on earth and to judge among the people by truth. Here he was supposed ideally to listen from the other side also. But Prophet Dawud alayhi salam, he listened to one side when he claimed that this is my brother and he has 99 goats and I have one. Now he wants to take my one and add it to 99 that he has. Well, that is a claim of one party. He should ask the other party before he give the judgment. But actually he did not give a clear judgment. He said the judgment was on possibility. If that is the case as you claim, then that is not. But he did not say that is the final judgment. He wanted to ask the other one, okay, what do you say? Your brother claims that against you. What do you say? Now, before he asking the other one, he gave him as if you want to say that if what you say is true, and if that is the case, naturally, it is a clear injustice. But then when they disappeared from him, he realized that they were not a human being before he can ask the other one and see what is the story. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to tell him that you as a prophet always, even if it might be lawful to say according to possibility, if that is the case, but when two people are there, you cannot give that possibility even for one of them. Listen to the second one and then give your judgment. So that was not really a case of judgment between human beings to say he did right or wrong. So it's not against the infallibility of the Prophet. It is like the eating the apple by Prophet Adam alayhi salam. It was in paradise, not on earth. There is no halal and haram in that situation. Among the two angels, it is not a judgment of halal and haram in that way, because they are not in that case. And what he said was not really the end of the story, the real judgment. Now he is putting like possibilities. If what you say, if what you claim is right, well, it looks injustice. Now he wanted to ask the other party, okay, what you say, your brother claims that, do you agree? What is your view? So that is the thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not really talk with hard tone in the Holy Quran against Prophet Dawud that why you are giving a wrong judgment between two people. No, that was not the case. Right away, when he realized that he should have waited, naturally, according to position of the prophets, it is not suitable for one who is a prophet to hurry in decisions before he hears both the parties. So istaghfar rabbahu, not istighfar for a sin. So there is no sin to be made here, because no end judgment is there. As we said, it was on possibility. If that is the case, then it should not be like this. But now it has not finished. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him. As we said, the prophets ask Allah for forgiveness, but not forgiveness from sins. From any small, what we say, tarakul awla, or any small thing which at their level, their high level, they are not supposed to do, then they do istighfar always. And sometimes they do istighfar because they cannot worship Allah as they should. Because if you pray even 1,000 rak'at a day, you said this is not sufficient to pray Allah. We have to do it more than that. But his body cannot do more than 100 rak'at, for example. The time, 24 hours is tight. He cannot pray 1,000 rak'at a day, 10,000 rak'at a day, for example. So you say, astaghfirullah, that, oh my God, I am supposed to make it 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, but I cannot. So forgive me, I cannot. Forgive me, not that I did mistake. Forgive me, I was supposed to be able to do more than that, but I cannot. You see, but still for his high position as a prophet, or maybe the imams are like that, they ask Allah for forgiveness, that okay, this is our limitations. So the prophets, if they say, faghfirli, oh my God, forgive me, not forgive me that he did a sin and he deserves punishment for that sin, and asking Allah for forgiveness. Not like us, no. But there are shortcomings, and he said, well, for any shortcoming I have to do istighfar, because that is my ability, my human possibility. So not all istighfar which is mentioned means there is a sin. No, it is not a sin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after that is mentioned, وَإِنَّ لَهُ عِنْدَنَا لَزُلْفَى وَحُسْنُ مَآبٍ, ayah 25. He said, therefore we rectified for him this, or we forgave him this, if you like, ghafara, to remember, or we said one of the meaning of ghafara, not forgiveness but covering. We covered that for him, as he used here, rectified. And most surely he had a nearness to us and an excellent resort. So if he has nearness and excellent resort, so that means he was very good and very high in his goodness. Not that he was sinful, as some claim. If he was sinful, then why Allah praise him so much about it? And after that, if he really, that exam he failed, then he will not deserve that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to tell him that because you failed in your exam, then we'll make you a caliph on earth. Naturally, that is not the right way. So it shows that he passed the exam, not that he failed. But still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to train him on a higher level as a prophet that he has, to be very exact in his judgment. And ultimately Allah told him, O Dawud, surely we have made you a ruler in the land, so judge between men with justice and do not follow desire. So that is the end of the story when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about it. Now, unfortunately, some people, what do they say about that? What was 99 and 1? What is the story? Unfortunately, in some books of tafsir of the Muslims, it is mentioned also. They say Prophet Dawud has 99 wives. And one day he was on the roof of his castle and he looked to a house of his neighbor. His neighbor was a ruler of his army who was out in jihad fighting the enemies, and his wife was there and she was taking bath, naked, taking bath at the middle of the house. So when Prophet Dawud looked to her, he liked her and he cannot marry her. So what to do? He asked, when the husband returned back, he sent him again for jihad, so might be he will be killed, and he put him in the front of the army. He went and he returned back victorious. He sent him third time, And then he was killed. When he was killed, then Prophet Dawud married his wife, and he said that was the story, that he had 99, and still he looked for another one to add, and they came, these two angels, to tell him about that story. Actually, that is really rubbish to talk about the prophets. Ordinary people will not do it rather than a prophet. First of all, there is no proof at all that the Prophet Dawud had 99 wives. There's no proof, and not mentioned anywhere authentic way. These maybe have been taken from the Old Testament stories which came to books of Muslims. Otherwise, in Islam, we do not have authentic hadith about that. And secondly, to look to the house and look to women and then see her, that was even by ordinary pious person cannot be done. How about a prophet to be done, and then to try to kill the husband in any way, and then even if he killed the husband, who says that the wife will agree to marry him? Maybe she will not agree, so what guarantees that? So all that are nonsense. Actually, Imam Ali alayhi salam says anybody who abuses Prophet Dawud, by that he deserves had, he deserves punishment. Actually, two punishments. One for blasphemy to the Prophet. The second one because he is against Islam. He become non-Muslim. So like that, it is a very serious matter. Actually, then Ma'mun asked Imam al-Rida alayhi salam about that. So what was the story of Uriah, that was wife of Uriah? Uriah was head of the army. Imam alayhi salam said, well, the story was not like this. In those days, if a wife, her husband dies, she will not marry all her life. And that was the common trend among that tribe or that community. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to remove that law practically. That if a woman become widow, she is allowed to marry another one. But the people now do not agree with that. Naturally, they are used to follow whatever previous trend they have. So the wife of this leader, when he died, naturally his wife was supposed to remain widow for all her life. The Prophet, in order to break that tradition, he himself married her, so that others will follow the same, and that previous trend should be finished. So that was the story. Not that he had 99 wives and he wanted to add one and he tried to kill. This is all nonsense. How can we accuse the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by such blasphemy? So unfortunately, certain things came through wrong and weak ahadith, and then some books of tafsir mentioned it, and those stories continue till today. But Ahlul Bayt Salamullah alayhim refuse all that stories and say these are not right, we cannot accept them. And as I said, Imam Ali alayhi salam was very serious about it. I read what he said. He said, لا أوتى برجل يزعم أن داود تزوج امرأة أوريا إلا جلدته حدين، حدا للنبوة وحدا للإسلام. That no one should come who claims that the Prophet Dawud married Uriah's wife, in that case, as they said, except I will punish him by striping twice. One because he is against the Prophet, and one is against Islam. So Ahlul Bayt were very serious that this is not the right thing, which some people may accuse the prophets about it. Now we come to another prophet, and that is Prophet Sulayman or Solomon, peace be upon him. Infallibility of a Prophet Sulayman. In the Holy Quran, in Surah Sad, that story is mentioned. Starting the Holy Quran again, praising Prophet Sulayman. وَوَهَبْنَا لِدَاوُودَ سُلَيْمَانَ نِعْمَ الْعَبْدِ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ. إذ عرض عليه بالعشي الصافنات الجياد فقال إني أحببت حب الخير عن ذكر ربي حتى توارت بالحجاب ردوها علي فطفق مسحا بالسوق والأعناق. You know the translation, and we gave to Dawud Sulayman, most excellent the servant, surely he was frequent in returning to Allah. So again here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises Prophet Sulayman alayhi salam that he is awwab. Awwab means returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then Al-Quran mentions a story when there were brought to him in the evening horses, still when standing, swift when running. I mean that is the very good and strong horses. The Holy Quran says As-Safinat al-Jiyad. Then he said, surely I preferred the good things to the remembrance of my Lord until the sunset and time for Asr prayers was over. He said, when the Prophet Dawud said, we come ayah 233, bring them back to me. So he began to slash their legs and necks. Unfortunately, the translation of Shakir here is a wrong translation, and I put translation of Yusuf Ali, which is a right translation. I will explain it, and then I will read the translation of Yusuf Ali again. What is said that Prophet Sulayman alayhi salam asked the people to bring the horses so that he can see them. The horses were a symbol for war, because the war in those days were not with tanks and armored cars, but it was riding the horse. So naturally they were taking care of the horses too much. And now he saw the horse in front of him, all the horses came. The claim is that, about this story, that he was unaware that he did not pray Asr prayer. He prayed Dhuhr prayer, and he was busy to look to the horse till the sun set, and then he realized that he did not pray Asr. And then he asked the horses to come back, so he slashed them, he cut the legs and hands of the horses, because he said, you were the one who caused me to be busy, and I forget my prayer. So that was the claim in some books of tafsir, unfortunately. Actually, the story is very wrong in that way. Naturally, even a wise person will not do it rather than a prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising him of what he did, because at the beginning Allah said that he is awwab, and he's talking about his story in a praise, not in a criticism. So the horses, naturally, he looked after the horse. The horse, one has to look after them because they were important for jihad. But it said not about the sun, Actually, the horses came in front of him, they ran, and he found them very strong, running very fast. When the horses went out till he cannot see them, he asked, okay, bring the horse back. And then he tried to wipe or massage the neck and the body of the horse as he is satisfied with them. So that is what has been done, not mashan, not killing, not qatlan. If that, then he should qatlan or dharban, beating with sword. Mashan, mas is just wiping there. So we see the translation of Yusuf Ali. First of all, حب الخير عن ذكر ربي. Here again a point. Al-khair, though it means good, but here it means the horse. In Arabic, they talk about the horse that they are the good. But they are good in fighting, in war. So that is another term for the horse to say good. So the ayah 32, I prefer the good things according to the translation of Shakir, good things means the horses. So I preferred it to the remembrance of my Lord. But that is wrong translation. I preferred it for the remembrance, not to them. Because عن ذكر ربي, not على ذكر ربي. If we go in Arabic, why I prefer the horses, why I love the horses? Is it for worldly life? It is for something selfish? It is something emotional? Or it is for sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What was it? So he wants to say it is for sake of Allah because these horses are important for jihad. So I love them, I take care of them, and I look after them because they are part of preaching the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. So it is an dhikr Rabbi, it is for sake of my Lord. Like we say, qurbatan Allah ta'ala. So he said that I am wasting time, let us say, or I am using my time to look to the horses because they are important for cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he stayed for few hours till all the horses has gone. And Tawarat bil hijab said it was not the sun which was set. It was the horses, they said. Set from his view, the horses were running and then he cannot see them. So he asked them to come back. Well, they say, no, they said the sun was set and he asked the sun to come back in order to pray Asr prayer. And then he took revenge from the horses and killed the horses by cutting their hands and legs, blaming them. They were the cause for forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is not correct. So that is why we see the translation of Yusuf Ali, and he said, truly do I love the love of good with a view to the glory of my Lord. So I love the horses for my Lord because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to prepare ourselves for jihad. Until the sun is not right here, he put in between two brackets, until the horses were hidden in the veil, from the view. Tawarat is not about the sun, It is about the horse because the near name is the horse. There is no mention of the sun here. In the ayah, there is no mention of the sun. He's talking about the horses. He said, I love the horse for the sake of my Lord till they were hidden. So they were hidden, or it was hidden. It was till it was hidden. It means the horse was hidden, not the sun. There is no mention of the sun here, and where is the sun about it? So when he said, Rudduha, bring them back to me, so that then he began to pass his hand over their legs and their necks. So he is passing his hand over their legs and necks, not slashing the head and neck of the horses. What is mentioned is not in that way. Well, here, unfortunately, a lot of confusion, as I said. They said, well, the Prophet did not remember Allah and then he missed Asr prayer and so on. But that is all a wrong way of translation and understanding. As you said, it is for the sake of Allah. He looked after the horses because he was preparing them for jihad. They were very important to fight. The army in those days has to have horses. So he has to prepare himself for jihad. He looked after the horses when the horses were very good. And they ran in front of him. Naturally, after 100, 200 yards, then he will not see them. He said, okay, bring them back. And then he started putting his hand on the horses as a matter of satisfaction to show. So what they say, Tawarat bil hijab, it was hidden from the view, is not for the sun that he missed Asr prayer and then he asked the sun to come back and then he prayed and so on. That is all Nothing is mentioned in the Holy Quran about it. There is even no hint about it. And if we say that the dhamir, the pronoun, will go to the nearest name is Hubb al-Khair. Al-Khair, as we said, is another name for the horses. They are called al-Khair. In hadith we have al-Khairu ma'qudin ala asannat al-Khair. The good is, let us say, written on the necks of the horse, because the horse is a powerful. One can run away from the enemy, or one can attack the enemy. So naturally it is very good for the person. If he has many enemies, he cannot fight with them. At least he can run away with the horse, and they may not catch him if he has a very strong horse to run away. So that is, khair is used for the horse in Arabic language. So hubb al-khair, loving of the horse, and dhikr Rabbi means because remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to prepare ourselves to defend the religion of Allah on earth. That is why He looked after the horses, and when the horses were disappeared, He asked the army to bring them back, and He showed His satisfaction about the horse, that they were trained and prepared and preserved in a very nice way. Unfortunately, sometimes the stories are cooked against the prophets, and some believe it and write it without even thinking about it. You see, no wise person, ordinary wise person, he will not kill the horse and say the horse are to be blamed for my mistake, if God forbid that was the mistake, as they said. So all that really is not acceptable. Well, anyhow, that is mentioned about it. While there are some other point about Prophet Sulayman, about imtihan and fitna, that we'll discuss inshallah in the next session. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum. I put what Marhum